Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So here is a statement that you might have heard from Wipro's chairman, and this came out very recently in the news as well. So he said that people who moonlight are doing it illegally. Now what is the meaning of moonlighting? It simply means that hey, if you're doing a full-time job at Wipro or any other corporate job, and on the sidelines you're working as a freelancer, doing your own projects, building side income, please do not do that stuff. That is illegal. Now, here is the counter argument that if you take a look, go on LinkedIn and check the profiles of several CEOs, what you will find is that number one, they are building their own personal brands, making money from it. Number two, they go speak at colleges, events, other corporate events. Sometimes they get paid for that. Third, they go and write their books and they definitely make money through that. Fourth, they go and work with government committees and again, they are paid for that. So on one hand, you have leaders who are making money themselves by doing these parallel jobs. But on the flip side, they say that, hey, if you're an employee at our organization, please don't generate any side income. That is illegal. Now you might say that, hey, you know what, only relevant for like private sector employees. So no, here is the rule book of the government and I'm reading it out. This is Central Civil Services Conduct Rules 1964. And it categorically says that if you engage directly or indirectly in any trade or business as a government employee, that again is illegal. But on the flip side, you see that big ministers have absolutely zero trouble running multiple businesses. Their son and daughter run like 5 different businesses. They are expanding their business empire. They are running YouTube also, making money through YouTube also. But if you are a government's employee, for example, IAS, IPS, IRS, then you can't make money by participating in any other trade. So what is all this about? This is simply doglapan. That is what the world has come to. Whether you look at corporate sector, whether you look at government sector, the world is full of dogla people. That is all it simply is. So I thought that I would make a simple video where I will talk about that if you are in a 9-to-5 job, how you can make more money. I will explain you the entire concept, basics around it in a very simple, easy to understand conversational manner. I will also show you the math part of it. So the math part of it means that I'm going to do a thought exercise with you that by undertaking these steps, can you add 25,000 rupees monthly more to your existing income? So let us get that discussion started. And there are 7 key methods or concepts that I'm going to talk about. So first and foremost, if you're looking to make more money through your 9-to-5 job, what is it that you should do? You should go and ask for a salary increase. Now you would say that Akshat, this is such a basic thing. Of course, we should all ask for salary increases, but you will be surprised to learn, and there have been several studies that have been done on this topic, that more than 50% of the employees, they never ask for a salary increase. Now, if you don't ask, you will not get. And what is the number one reason why people do not ask for a salary increase? Because, yeah, I'm very shy. Therefore, I do not want to ask for a salary rise. And it just makes me feel very uncomfortable. So in case you are shy, here is a quick exercise for you. Go on Instagram and scroll for 5 minutes. You will see like people doing weird stuff. People have just created bhokal on Instagram. There are like weird people dancing and doing like bunch of random stuff. So yeah, if they can do such senseless stuff with full confidence, you are still asking for something reasonable. Okay, so if you're not convinced on Instagram, go on Twitter. There people are running weird polls. So I read one question and it said that, hey, tell me something about my body that I don't know. Now, do I have x-rays in my eyes that I can tell you something about your body that you don't know? So people keep on posting shameless random stuff. So be a little bit confident and literally ask for a salary increase. What is the data behind it? The data behind it is this, and there are several surveys that have been done. So this comes from a US survey and it says that the salary pay increase ranges from 3% to 5%, and asking for a salary raise comes with 10 to 20% increases. Now, of course, this data is debatable. It will differ from region to region, which industry, which specific job, which specific city you are working in. But the important point to realize is that if you don't ask for a salary increase, your salary is just likely to grow by a minimal amount. But if you ask for a salary increase, there will at least be a better percentage growth in your salary. So please don't shy away from asking for a salary rise. Now comes the second related point here is that it's not as if that today you have just heard of this video and tomorrow you're going to your HR and throw laptop on his face that, you know what, give me better money. No, that is not something that you should do. You should understand the basics around it. Very, very quick input here is that number one, if you're asking for a salary increase, you need to put in the justification as to why your salary should be increased. And the best parameter there is that compare your performance. If you have been getting good reviews, if you have been growing in your company and getting appreciation for your clients, all these become data-based facts that you can go and negotiate on. And resultantly, you can ask for a better salary rise. Second key point that please remember the timing of asking this thing, because if your company is downsizing means firing a lot of employees, or if a COVID like situation is persisting, then of course you can't go and ask for a salary increase. But on the flip side, if your company has won a very big client and more money is coming into the company and you have played a critical part in terms of landing that client, then it is very reasonable that you go and ask for a salary increase. Now, third and final related point is that please have options. Majority of us do not ask for a salary increase because we are too scared, we are too shy. And why is that the case? Because we don't have options. We always think that, what if my boss says no? It will sour my relationship with him, and then he or she might mistreat me. Now, all these negative connotations come into the picture because you do not have options. So please build options. That please go and keep on applying for new jobs. Expand your options. Always be on a lookout for better opportunities. If you have more options, and even if you're not looking to switch your job, you can always go back to your employer and ask for a fair raise in your salary. So now comes the natural question that can you make 25,000 additional rupee by asking for a salary raise? It really depends on how much your existing salary is. If you're starting out from a big base, for example, let's say 2.5 lakh rupees, then yes, you can easily make an incremental salary of 25,000 by asking for a raise, because that might be a 10% increase in your salary. But if you are on a small base, for example, you are making, let's say 25,000, then making a jump directly to 50,000 might be a little tough. So now comes the second key point, and this is especially relevant for people who are making slightly lesser amount. For example, if your salary is less than 25-30,000 rupees, then this point is going to be especially important for you. But before walking into that point, let me explain a few critical concepts. So the first critical concept is around the value add part of it. So basically, let's say that you help your company make 2 lakh rupees. Now that company is going to keep a cut and they are likely to give you 1 lakh rupees out of it. So that is how the entire corporate world works. That if you can help your company make 2 lakh rupees, then you can definitely go and ask for a 1 lakh rupee salary. Why? Because this is the value add concept, that you're adding a value of 2 lakh rupees and you are capturing a value of 1 lakh rupee for yourself. So there is nothing wrong in it. So please understand this value add. The second key point is that as your salary starts to grow, adding more value becomes more and more difficult with time. For example, if you're already making 2.5, 5 lakh rupee salary, 6 lakh rupee salary, then you might be stretched on time a lot. Your company might already be extracting your juice. So you might be super pressed on time. On the flip side, if you are making lesser money, now I don't mean to say that your company would not make you work hard. They will still extract your juice, no doubt about that. But compared to people here who are making 5-6 lakh rupees of salary a month, here in case of a person who is making 25-30,000 rupees, it might be that they might be getting some kind of free time. Now it is not like that your boss will say that, here is free time, go to Goa and enjoy life. No, they are not going to say that. But what you need to keep in mind here is that your job is only to provide 50,000 rupees of value. As long as you are doing it, you are still a profit center for your organization and nothing bad will happen to your job. So the chances are that if you are on the lower half of the salary, you might be able to make some free time for you by working more effectively. The moment you do that, you are creating more free time and you can convert that time into more money by doing some freelancing projects. So this brings us to the final concept of this point, that here your job becomes to pick progressive companies, not regressive companies, if you are in the salary range of less than 30-40,000 rupees. Now, what is the definition of regressive and progressive companies? So I will explain that by using the picture of Manoj Bajpayee. And if this is your boss who is lying on the table and if you want to beat him, probably you are working with a regressive company. Now, the nature of the regressive company is such that there is a lot of work pressure, negativity. If people are progressing, there will be crab mentality people. They will pull you down. They will not let you work. They are inefficient. They just want you to stay in office for whatever reasons. If you talk about other income streams, they will look at you as if you are an alien and they will deny you any opportunities. So these are regressive organizations, and getting that 25-30,000 rupee job is not that difficult once you have upskilled yourself. So please figure out a way to move to a slightly more progressive companies. Now, what is meant by progressive companies? Progressive companies are companies where they allow their employees to work on freelancing projects. So that, according to me, is a good definition of a progressive company. Because when the company understands that, people need to make money, as long as they are doing their work effectively for our organization, it is completely cool. Please go and make your money on your free time. For example, I run some companies and we give full liberty to people that, hey, if you want to go and work on your free time with some other people, some other companies, please do that. Not a problem. For example, my manager, she is trying to build her presence on Instagram. She shoots a lot of content, uploads a lot of content on her behalf. But as long as she is doing my work properly, I'm cool with it. So I'm not trying to say that that, you know what, I run like progressive companies. No, I'm just helping you understand the difference between progressive and regressive work environments. It's very, very important for you, especially at the start of your career, to go and work with organizations and people who are progressive in nature. If you go and work with old traditional models that, you know what, if you're working with our company and then you start building your own side incomes, why would you take our job seriously? If you're having those type of conversations, please understand that you're working in a regressive work environment. Try to move out of it. And if your salary range is not too high, making that switch might be easier. So how to make that switch? This brings us to point number 3 and method number 3 of growing in your 9 to 5 job. One of the fastest way of growing and making more money in a 9 to 5 job is to improve your academic credentials. So before going to INSEAD and pursuing my MBA, my salary was quite less. I was literally making 20% of the money that I ended up making right after graduating from INSEAD. So just by putting in 1 year, I was literally able to grow my salary exponentially. And still till today, if you are pursuing master's degree, a lot of progressive employers, they support you in that journey. Just to give you an example, companies like BCG, Bain, McKinsey, which are leading consulting firms, leading investment banking firms, they sponsor your MBA. Even if you have to go and study at INSEAD or London Business School and pay a lot of tuition fee, your employer will do that on your behalf and they will call you back for the job and increase your salary too. So these are progressive organizations. The reason why I'm telling you this example is just to prove the point that, hey, there are a lot of progressive organizations out there. Figure it out. Try to build your career in them. If you are not able to do it right after your undergrad, it is okay. Go pursue a master's degree. It still provides a wonderful podium for you to increase your salary. So you can then join these progressive organizations once you have graduated from your master's program. And can you do a salary increment of 25,000 rupees if you do a master's degree? So it really again depends on which course, which university, which location, geography, etc., etc. Here is a study that was done and it categorically shows that there has been a significant jump in salaries after pursuing your master's degree, irrespective of the field. Now, one of the key problems in terms of pursuing a master's degree is that you might be having a full-time job and you might struggle that, you know what, should I leave my current job? Will I get a job back? What is it that I should be doing? So in that respect, you can check some of my favorite courses that I've linked from upGrad. It's a wonderful platform. It's a great upskilling platform and you can go and pursue some of the master's degree that can amplify your career. So then comes the fourth point of making more money along with your 9 to 5 job, and it is YouTubing or podcasting. Now you might say that, okay, Akshat, this is not allowed even at a regressive firm. Okay, I am just putting in all the ideas for you. You will have to check it individually with specific organizations. But as far as I could research, if you're an IS officer, you can run your YouTube channel. There is absolutely no problem in terms of running that. Now, why is that? Because the money making process from YouTube is not understood by the government or by corporate employees as of now. For example, let's say that you're a data scientist and you keep on talking about data science in general without naming your organizations, without naming your clients, without naming your competitors, then it should be okay. On the flip side, if you want to be even more safer, then don't even talk about your industry. So let's say that you're from data science industry and you talk about travel or traveling in Europe or whatever it is. And if you're doing it on YouTube, then I don't think that you are doing anything wrong. Now, there is another critical point that you need to remember, that please do not take any sponsored ads from anyone. For the simple fact that if you're working with an organization and if you categorically call out that, hey, this video has been sponsored by this particular company, and if your company finds out, then it would be a problem because they would know that you have been paid for it. So please do not make these type of mistakes. If you have some questions, please put it in the comment box. I would love to reply. But let's move to the math part of it, because here math part gets interesting. Let's say that if you have to make 25,000 rupees, then how many subscribers do you typically need? A lot depends on which niche you have started your channel on: finance, technology, business, etc. etc. And which country does your audience come from? But if I have to throw out a random figure, then I would say that if you get to around 25,000 subscribers for your YouTube channel, then you can potentially make around 25,000 rupees easily per month. Now you might say that, okay, YouTubing looks very dangerous because my organization will get to see my face. My colleagues will go and file a complaint with HR and whatnot, and it becomes a problem. So you can start with podcast. Right now, the podcast market is very, very basic in India. It has not picked up. It has picked up quite a lot in the Western countries. So hopefully in another 5 years, the podcasting market is going to go big. So you literally can start with podcast. podcast. If you're uncomfortable with YouTube, or if some problems are caused by your employer when you start your YouTube channel, just move to podcast, build your audience for 5 years, and then there might be more monetization opportunities here. So point number 5 comes academia and books. Now this is very, very interesting space, because so far I have spoken with many government officials, I have spoken with students, I have spoken with young employees who have just gotten recruited, and all of them tell me that, hey, there is absolutely zero problem from our side if we go and publish a basic book. Our employers are completely cool with it. Okay, so now you might have a natural question that, hey, book publishing is really, really tough. How do I do it? Actually, I am working on a couple of my own books. I will share all the details on a separate video if there is more interest. But just to give you a quick summary, that number 1, you can self-publish your books. Self-publishing means that you write your book, just store it in a PDF format, lock that particular PDF and upload it on your website. And you start selling it at a very, very basic level. Now, what kind of books you can write if you're not too experienced in your fields? For example, a lot of emerging things are happening. If you are in your college, if you have just started your job, you can definitely talk about job search related books, right? And write some commentary around it. Similarly, you can talk about LinkedIn networking, LinkedIn marketing, content creation, etc., etc. So write mini books, sell it for like 70 rupees, 100 rupees. Now, how do you get to sell your books? Okay, one of the easiest ways is that write personalized emails or write personalized messages to already existing big influencers. Literally tell them that, hey Akshat, I love your work. This is a new book that I have written. I have specially borrowed this particular thought from your commentary and I have included it in my book. Please give it a read. And if you can give a shout out, that would make my day. Do something like this. Please don't run this experiment on me. I am the one teaching you. So let's run it on Ankur Wariku and let's see how it goes. So now comes the natural question that, hey, can you make like 25,000 rupees selling these books? Yes. So it is very much doable. If you get a shout out from big influencers and if your book is genuinely good, you can make 25,000 rupees a month, at least for a few months. So now comes the 6th point, which is probably the smoothest way of making money along with your full-time job. It is stock investing or mutual fund investing, or rather investing in general. Now, if the first 5 points make you a little bit uncomfortable, that I don't want to ask for a salary raise, I don't want to write my book, who has the time? So okay. So please understand investing in general. So in order to make 25,000 rupees a month, you are looking at 3 lakh rupees. And what is the corpus amount that you would require to generate 3 lakh rupee income? So let's assume 10-12% return also. Then you are looking at roughly 25 to 30 lakh rupee corpus. Now you'll say that, hey, this is a huge amount. Okay. So this is the corpus or the final amount that we are talking about. Even if you keep saving little by little, you will get there one day. I'm not expanding upon this point simply because I keep making so many videos on how to build your portfolio, how to do investments, etc. But I hope you get the message that please do not worry about the final corpus amount. Worry more about turning your investment into a habit. So whatever salary that you are making, please try to save and invest 20% of it, be it in mutual funds, be it in whatever instrument you are comfortable with. Please save and invest 20%, and that little drop that you are saving, it will help you out in a 10-year time frame. So please keep that in mind. That is the rough math that I will explain. And please do not start in the comment box that inflation will be there, taxation will be there. That is there for everyone, not just for savers and investors alone. So it's better to save and then deal with taxation and inflation rather than doing no savings and then dealing with inflation and taxation. So then comes the 7th and final point, and this is especially applicable for people who are slightly senior in age. They have been able to save a lot of money, and this has to do with the idea of startup rentals. For example, many of us, what we do is that if you are well settled into our 30s, 40s, even in 50s, we might have a decent corpus already. We might just simply go and purchase a house and we are done. At best, what will happen is that you will find a tenant and you will rent it out and you will get some money. So this is called as rental income. There is nothing wrong with it. This is a great way. If you don't have time, this is wonderful. But if you have some time and if you are moving towards that retirement where you have a lot of free time, you can manage your property, then probably figuring out how to do that Airbnb business might be of a better value add. Now you will say that, hey, if I'm doing Airbnb business along with my full-time job, how can I do it? Can I do it? Most likely yes, because you're simply listing your home and you can simply list it with your wife, list it with your husband, and then you have an operating business in play. Please remember the fact that this is a full-time business. Of course, the returns are better, but so is the effort required to run it. And if you have to do it along with a demanding full-time job, it might become very heavy for you. So if you have support in terms of wife, husband, brother, sister, so it becomes much easier to run these type of businesses. And can you make 25,000 rupees running these type of businesses? The short answer is yes. And what is the approximate amount of investment that you're looking in order to generate a cash flow of 25,000 rupees? Again, you at least would have to purchase a property which is around 70-75 lakhs. Now, I'm not justifying all the numbers here because I plan to make a separate video on Airbnb business. So I will get into more details there, but this is the absolute minimum investment amount that you need in order to generate a rental income of 25,000 by using 75 lakhs. How to do it? I will talk about it on a separate video. But on this video, I hope you enjoyed understanding all these different components, and depending on your current work situation, I'm hopeful that you will at least execute one of these income streams. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.